Well, these trade agreements are not only relevant in the case of critical raw materials, but all raw materials, as we've already discussed in question 1. I want to bring up 2 examples here. Number 1 is CETA, the Canada-EU trade agreement. Both Canada and the EU have natural resources that are relevant to our economies, and we derive economic benefits from having free and open trade with each other. And the second one that I want to bring up is the association agreement that we have with the Ukraine, which improves the trade between Ukraine and the EU, but critically, it also fosters investments in natural resources, meaning it actually makes natural resource extraction in the Ukraine possible. It makes it possible in hopefully an environmentally sustainable way with the technologies that we can give them. And of course, that also is a great benefit to our 2 countries. The EU is, when it is negotiating trade agreements or other kind of agreements, proposing energy and raw materials chapters for these agreements to all the negotiating partners, because it is that relevant that we have trade in raw materials. And this is, for example, also true for negotiations with resource-rich countries like Chile, Australia, and Indonesia. These agreements also contain disciplines on export monopolies, for example, export pricing, but also on cooperation. Yes, it absolutely can. How? For this, we need to think back to how we determine whether or not a raw material is critical. Number 1 is we look at economic importance. Number 2 is we look at supply risk. And while it doesn't do a whole lot for economic importance, it actually does help with the supply risk quite a bit. How so? Number 1, we actually look at trade restrictions on any given raw material, and if you can remove trade restrictions by having an agreement, already lower supply risk. Number 2 is it makes sourcing more economically competitive when you have an agreement that, for example, reduces duties and quotas, and that lowers the impact of the country level concentration. And the third one is, depending on the terms of your agreement, it can also improve the governance in your trading partner and in you, obviously, by strengthening the institutional accountability. And governance is one of the factors, obviously, that we also look at, because no good trading with someone that you can't rely on. This all helps to create distortion-free and transparent markets, which help your industries to compete on an equal footing. But it is no good to just have agreements. It is also relevant to look at their implementation and enforce them. And this is why, for example, in 2019, the EU appointed its first Chief Trade Enforcement Officer, which is, by the way, also a great title. We do also have other tools in our little trade toolbox, not just agreements. There would be, for example, the market access strategy, which consists of partnerships between business, member states, and the Commission to tackle trade barriers. And there would also be, for example, the work with international bodies like the OECD or the WTO.